The door slammed behind me, hard enough that the crystal chandelier above the foyer trembled. My suitcase rolled across the marble floor and hit the steps. Clack, clack, clack. Behind me, laughter. Not quiet laughter. Cruel laughter. My wife leaned against the doorway of the mansion she loved to call hers, one arm wrapped around a man I had never seen before tonight. Young, confident, shameless. Her lipstick was smeared. His shirt was half-buttoned. Neither of them looked embarrassed. She tilted her head, smiled. "Take your cheap suitcase and leave, Daniel." Her voice was soft, mocking. "You were always just temporary." The man beside her chuckled. I stared at them. Not angry, not yet, just observing, like a surgeon studying a tumor before cutting it out. This house, the cars, the parties, the champagne flowing through these rooms every weekend. I paid for all of it, but legally, none of it was mine. Her father's lawyers had written the prenup 10 years ago. Brutal, precise. Everything acquired during the marriage belonged to her. Everything. She thought she had already won. She stepped closer to the door. "You should be grateful," she said. Then she laughed again. "You got 10 years in a mansion." The door began to close. Then she delivered the final line. "Oh, and Daniel?" Pause. Her smile widened. "You'll never recover from losing me." The door shut. Silence fell over the driveway. I looked at the massive iron gates, at the security cameras, at the marble lions guarding the entrance. Then I checked my watch. 9:42 p.m., right on schedule, because she had no idea that tonight she had just activated the most expensive trap of her entire life. I slept in my car that night, not because I had nowhere else to go, because I needed to think. The leather seat smelled like cold air and old coffee. Familiar, comforting. Unlike the mansion always smelled like expensive lies. I replayed the moment in my mind. Her arm around him, the way she laughed. Not nervous laughter, not guilt, pure contempt. That was the moment I understood something important. She hadn't just cheated. She had planned the humiliation. Public, spectacular, calculated. She wanted me small, broken. I closed my eyes. 10 years of marriage drifted through my mind like photographs. Her sudden business trips, her obsession with the prenup clause, her constant reminders that the mansion belonged to her family. And recently, something else. The phone calls she took outside, the locked bathroom door, the way she started dressing differently, like someone performing. I had ignored the signs, not because I was stupid, because I was patient. But tonight removed all doubt. She didn't want a husband anymore. She wanted a witness, someone to watch her upgrade, someone to discard. Fine, I opened my phone, scrolled to a message sent 3 months ago from my attorney. Subject line: Confirmation of Prenup Clause 14B. I read it again, slowly, carefully. The clause her father insisted on, the one she bragged about during every argument. In the event of marital betrayal resulting in public humiliation or financial harm, the injured party retains rights to undisclosed premarital assets. She thought it protected her. She never realized what it actually protected was me. 3 months earlier, I had already started preparing. Not because I knew, because I suspected. And suspicion is a surgeon's scalpel. Precise. Quiet. Effective. I hired a private investigator in Zurich. Not cheap, but worth every cent. Within 2 weeks, the reports started arriving. Photographs. Hotels. Dinner reservations. Weekend flights. Always the same man. Adrian Keller. 32. Fitness entrepreneur. Bank account modest. Ambition unlimited. Apparently, my wife had been funding his startup. Millions quietly transferred. From joint accounts she assumed I never monitored. I never confronted her. That would have ruined everything. Instead, I moved silently. I transferred my private holdings into the trust I had created before our marriage. A trust worth $800 million. Investments, tech acquisitions, European property, including one very specific villa on Lake Geneva. The prenup protected it perfectly. She never asked about my past finances because she believed the narrative she created, that she had married beneath her, that she had rescued me. 3 weeks ago, my attorney called. "The clause works in your favor," he said calmly. "If she publicly humiliates you, it triggers asset recovery rights. Tonight, she did exactly that, in front of witnesses. security cameras, and her lover. Perfect. Now all I had to do was let the story spread. 3 days later, my phone rang. My daughter-in-law. I answered. Her voice exploded through the speaker. If you want to join Thanksgiving, she snapped, come wash the dishes. I leaned back in my chair, looked out at Lake Geneva. The water was silver under the winter sun. Peaceful, silent. Behind me, floor-to-ceiling windows reflected the interior of my Swiss villa. Marble, glass, fireplace, 8 bedrooms. I smiled faintly. Enjoy, I replied. Then I hung up. 10 minutes later, I posted the photos. Nothing dramatic, just quiet images. The terrace overlooking the lake, the wine cellar, the private dock. The caption was simple. Home. My phone rang within seconds. Once, twice, 5 times. 10, 20. By the end of the hour, 71 missed calls. My wife, her lawyer, her father, even Adrian Keller. Apparently, reality had arrived. She called again. I answered this time. Silence on the other end, then a trembling voice. Daniel, what is this? I poured a glass of wine. Walked to the balcony. Cold mountain air brushed my face. It's my house, I said calmly. No, that's impossible. I could hear panic now. Good. You said you had nothing. I said many things. Pause. Then the real question came. What about the prenup? I smiled. The one your father wrote? Another silence. Longer this time. Then I delivered the final sentence. You activated Clause 14B when you threw me out. Her breathing stopped. The investigators documented everything. Security footage. Witnesses. And your performance. Her voice broke. Daniel, please! I interrupted her gently. The trust stays mine. The mansion? Pause. Gone. Legally transferred. Every asset tied to marital misconduct. Exactly as the clause allowed. She whispered one final word. Why? I watched the lake. Calm. Still, because revenge doesn't need anger, only patience. Weeks passed. The divorce finalized quickly. Her father's lawyers fought hard, but contracts don't care about emotions, only signatures. She lost the mansion, the accounts, the investments. Adrian Keller disappeared the moment the money vanished. Predictable. Last I heard, she moved into a small apartment downtown. Life has a strange sense of symmetry. Sometimes I sit on the balcony of my villa, watching the lake freeze in winter, thinking about that night, the laughter, the door slamming, her certainty that I was finished. I don't hate her. Hate requires attachment, and attachment is something I no longer possess. The truth is simpler than revenge. She believed she was destroying me, but all she really did was remove the last illusion I ever had about love.